Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Thursday and a great great start to the week so far. To make sure everyone can hear us, do you mind just finding the chat really quickly and letting us know where you're joining us today? Drop the name of your agency or even your LinkedIn if you'd like to connect with others in the crowd. It'd be super helpful for us over here. We have a really awesome workshop planned for you guys today, and we're going to be diving into that in just a few moments. But if this is your first time joining us for one of our digital events, welcome. We appreciate you logging on this morning or evening, depending on where you're coming from. We hold our webinars, roundtables, workshops, and onboarding days to share some insightful and actionable information with the SEO community, and also just help share some information to make the most of our tools and give you some helpful takeaways for your business. Awesome. So today we have some real world tips from some of our pros who happen to use SE ranking as well. So excited to be diving into that in just a few moments. Awesome. So my name is Megan. I am a North American account executive here at SE Ranking. I may have talked to a few of you in some demos before, or just kind of some emails that I send, but I'm really, really thankful to be here and introducing our speakers and guiding you with this workshop today. So we have three amazing speakers. They will share some really helpful topics with you today. First up will be Laraz with some drafted dominance. So that'll be focused on content quality and technical optimization. After that, we'll have a great conversation with Graham, where he will talk about targeting clients with precision. And then last up will be Daniel, and he will focus on effective client management and how to utilize SE ranking for that as well. Awesome. So a quick tour of SE ranking. Awesome. So SE Ranking is a complete toolkit. So we have both agencies and in-house professionals using our tool, and they find it's a very helpful software to help out just for all of your marketing needs. And you can see that through various reviews and happy raving customers throughout all these different badges on the screen here. And it's a great place to do all of your work when it comes to digital marketing. So we have specialized tools for every SEO task. So it's a complete toolkit with over 30 plus SEO tools. I know it's hard to cover it in a lot of demos and whatnot that I speak on. So anything from keyword research, competitive research, backlink analysis, and ranking. We provide you accurate data and have a great kind of AI software built into our tools to ensure a unique data set and very, very precise rankings from within there. As well as collaborative features. So we know a lot of you oftentimes do have other folks that are working in your same agency as you're collaborating with others. So we have some very helpful features with that, some of which are automated reporting to make your lives easy, additional client and manager seats that are there to help kind of expand the breadth of your business, but also very team specific level access levels. So we can make sure that the right people are touching on the right projects and accounts and tools that we have. So we're excited to kind of introduce you to our tool if you haven't used it before. And if so, we have if you're already used to us, we have over 1 million SEO pros who've already tried SE ranking and love us very often. A quick note from the SE ranking side as well. And this is a little heads up as well. We have some exciting rebranding that's on the horizon. So new color scheme, new approach to how we're going to work with you, and just exciting things on the horizon having to do with the rebrand of our lovely, lovely SE ranking. So we have a fantastic agency catalog. I recommend it to quite a few businesses. So essentially it's available through the agency pack. You could have your business listed here as well. Feel free to scan that QR code, but essentially it's a registry of a whole bunch of industry leaders that use our software on a day-to-day basis. And it can also, this agency pack can help you generate leads with a lead generator, showcase your expertise, and then also help with credibility with a solid backlink, which we know we love. Awesome. So SE ranking, once again, SEO platform for everyone. We have everything from competitive research, website audit, keyword ranking, that agency pack I just mentioned, and then over 30 plus essential SEO tools for you. If you'd like an extended trial, feel free to scan that QR code. If you do sign up with your email, we always recommend using your business email, especially just because it gives you enhanced trial features. You'll have a lot more support from us at the sales team and the CS and support teams. And then also that personal email just kind of knows, hey, this is our business that we're looking at. So the business one will definitely kind of point you in the right direction and set you up for success with us as well. Awesome. So next up, we have Liraz, and she's going to be speaking about draft to dominance, enhancing content quality, and technical optimization with SE ranking.
Hello.
Hi. So once again, Liraz Bustan is SEO and founder of Brainsy Digital. Do you want to say a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I've been doing international SEOs, I would say in the last 15 years or so, working in-house companies for most of my career. In the last 5 years or so, I've managed to grow an agency with wonderful brainiacs that are literally the best thing ever that ever happened to me. 15 brainiacs helping international clients, working on their organic revenues and organic strategy as well. Yeah.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, I'll let you get into it.
Yeah. Cool. Do you want me to get started?
Yes, please.
Yeah,
That'd be fantastic.
So let me just share my screen in one sec. I have some slides for you today. You see everything? All good?
Yes. Draft to audit is what I'm seeing. Perfect.
Okay, let's get started. So as Megan said, I've been using with my agency, but also even before when I was just a freelancer, I started using SE Ranking. So I very have like a vast knowledge with SE Ranking. Gotta say, this is my go-to today. I'm also sharing a lot of information with SE Ranking with my clients and also with external writers. I'm going to show it to you in a sec. The entire team is using SE Ranking, and we're basically using it for anything from ideation to technical audits and tracking and monitoring and reporting. Everything is basically, and I would say, one-stop shop for us. So this is amazing. And I'm here to share some ideas for you today with some real case studies of how to use SE Ranking from, I would say, from the very first go, the get-go to until you need to monitor and audit and all these type of things for a routine kind of a thing. So we're going to talk about how we're approaching things for clients, how we're going to show some stats, how we're going to show some real revenues, some real, I would say, impact. And this is interesting. And yes, feel free to follow on Twitter, on LinkedIn. Feel free to ask me any questions after this if you need. We have a Q&A session as well. So feel free to save all your questions. We're here to answer everything. So let's talk about some stats. Content is king, and we know it, right? It still is a king. And 80% of all of our business inside our agency today is around content. I would say, less focusing on backlinks today. We're focusing more on content, useful content, valuable content, content that can be engaged, content that can be also unique, some interesting one. It doesn't have to be just blogs. It can be tools or calculators or even programmatic SEO. We can go wild with content, but it's mainly around content and how to crack that thing that brings traffic and real valuable traffic. 90% of all our clients generate real scale only by using content efforts, and that's a fact with our business here. We kind of know that when a client reaches to us, either if it's an early stage startup or it's a very mature company or corporate company, they're basically we're creating for them. Either if it's a content hub or either if it's a, I would say, more advanced blog content strategy or landing pages or programmatic pages, they're basically revenues. All the revenues are coming from content efforts with organic traffic, and that's really great numbers to share with their CEOs and CFOs. And this Q3 alone will end with a revenue boost of more than $15 million to our clients just by using content. And I'm here to share with you some, I would say, ideas of how to do it at scale as well. So some stats from the industry: the average top ranking result of CDR for the first position today is 9%. Okay, so followed by then 5% and 3%. And I'm not even talking about the AI overviews, which is basically sometimes they're getting us, I would say a boost right now. We're seeing with some clients with 15% increase of boost with AI overviews, not even decrease. So that's interesting one. But we're going to see a lot of changes this year with CTR, and we have zero control of what's going on with CTR these days, because in some queries you kind of see, you will see the AI overviews, and some you won't, and some you have images, and some you won't. So that's a complete mess, and it will take time until we'll see stabilized results. The average page in top 10 is 2 years old, and we know that by a research that was made in the industry this year. And this is basically saying that for me to get that rankings for something that is very, very important or very, very strategic for the client, if it's a very, I would say, it depends, right? If it has competition or things like that, probably it will be more efficient to me to refresh some old content and get that old content out there with a very optimized structure and engaging, I would say, maybe visuals. We're going to talk about it later. But if that's a page that is there for more longer than time, that's probably going to be the one that's going to win it. So we're going to talk about how to refresh as well. And 50-60% of all numbers of one spot are dominated now by featured snippet and AI overviews. So basically, a lot of 90% of all of our websites are getting like zero traffic at all, because they're ranking on featured snippets or any kind of thing. They're not getting traffic out of these things. So that's a very important thing to note for some queries, not all of them. And of course, different markets as well. So we're going to focus on quick wins. We have refresh because we know that we want to get there, and this article can be better. So we're going to take an old content, improve it, and make it better. And then we're going to rank it. We're going to plant new seeds. So we're going to plan ahead to boost our main keywords with new content that's going to generate leads or conversions. And then we're going to grow it over time with internal linking and everything that I'm going to tell you a little bit later. And audit. So constant checking, monitoring, page changing, remove, optimize. If that's a stale content, we don't need it anymore. We just need to optimize things as we go. Let's start with refresh and talk a little bit about it. This is an article from really the very last month that we gone ahead with SE Ranking. We just improved it a little bit with a refresh, made some, I would say, added images, improved the content, used the AI features that we also have inside SE Ranking, made it a little bit more, I would say, enriched, okay, with some more information, images, a video that we found for the client that can be very, very much interesting. Look at that boost. That's completely crazy. In over 28 days, this article alone was generating 3 times more clicks to this client. So yes, small numbers right now, but it's just the beginning. And imagine that you're doing at that scale. That's a really valuable thing for the client. So these are the things that we're looking at when we want to refresh articles. So we talk about content accuracy. We want to update the content, enrich it, either with stats. We're working a lot with B2B. So we have a lot of stats, a lot of heavy graphs. Sometimes we need to add a little bit more paragraphs that are useful for the reader, or research trends or changes. Sometimes we have quotes that we want to get in. Sometimes we go into contact industry leaders and just mention some of them inside these posts. We want to make sure the content is like up to date all the time. Second, we want to engage with the reader. It's not enough that we just have some content there. We want also the readers to have like some kind of an engagement with the content. So they will not go, we call it query satisfaction. They will go to your landing page. They will see the content. It's all text. It's all boring. Nothing to be basically to read through it. They cannot even scan this content in their eyes. They're basically going to be searching for another website for the same query, and that's a drop for Google. We don't like that. We want the reader to engage with our content. So we want anything that can support the content, either it's videos, interactive polls, or graphs, or even a CTA that can lead them to download something or grab their email, something that they can do inside this page. And of course, every piece of content should talk about Conversions. This has something that you should build the report in GE4 or Looker Studio that can help you identify what are the main keyword, I would say, key pages that leading to conversions for you. So I'm not talking about content page and then, contact us page and then a conversion. I'm talking the actual blog page that brought into it, or a landing page. So that's in funnel, CTA, subscription, grab their email, doing something with these emails and things like that. And the last thing is part of the refresh is also technicals, because sometimes we can do a lot of work around content, but most of the times we have a lot of faults in this page, a lot of loop errors, a lot of redirections, a lot of wrong internal linking, and that's if it's not refreshed. So does not make a lot of sense just to continue with refreshing if you're not touching also the technical part of things. So this is an example. In SE Ranking, you have the content marketing tool. You go inside, you can share everything you do here with an external writer. This is how we work with external writers, that we work either on the client side, but also with our own external writers. We can get some easy help with the AI writer tool. This is usually what we do just to get the baseline of things. It's very easy. A lot of people are using AI today. It's perfectly fine as long as it gives value and not just repurposing just stuff from the internet. Doesn't make any sense. So we're using the AI feature. This helps the writer to get a little bit more of a baseline of how to work, what to do, what to refresh. And then we're going ahead and refresh metas, headings, images, increase the number of words. All the suggestion is basically on here until we reach a proper content score that will satisfy us. So I'm not saying 100, we're never going to be perfect. And we also don't want to over optimize anything, but we do want to make sure that our content score reaches like in a good volume, not something that is going to be staffed with keywords or making sense to read, making sense of the content, I would say accuracy, as we've mentioned before. And we also, once it's live on the website, we're going to refresh the publish date because we've made a significant, I would say, improvement on that page. So why not? We can totally refresh the publish date and show Google this is a brand new refreshed page. So why not? This is a result that basically was done. This is from SE Ranking. You can totally see that once Google understand that we improved the content, made it better, it took like 3 times because there are, by the way, a lot of correlations with the Google updates. You kind of see the symbol of Google over there. But every time there was an algorithm update, we saw like a little bit of a dip and then increase, a little bit of a dip and then increase like a week later or something like that. So that's amazing for us. The publish date is something that is like signaling to Google as well. There's a lot of changes over here. Look at that. That's really impressive. So, and you kind of see we've reached to 84, I would say, content score, and why not? I think this is really okay. I mean, we even like, we have even got a suggestion to decrease the number of words, and there's a lot of room to improvement if we want. But we did find it that we want to work, and I would say in our own started by the same with the industry. And this is a real example of how everything can be done with an SE Ranking, with an external writer, with the team until it's published to the website. I could even add it to the metas over here and just send it to the client as is to implementation. The next step is going to be talking about the engagement and conversions. This is some examples of how we do it with other clients, how it's important to just create a sticky header with a contact us there, some quotes over there, get a quote, get the official guide and the sidebar, and then a table of contents and everywhere. Basically, if someone reaches your blog and does not convert, and we know it's very hard to convert top of funnel, so you're missing the opportunity if you don't have any, I would say, the minimum of a sticky header. Okay, that's a minimum today. But even graphs, you kind of see we entered a pie over here with some graphs. Get a quote and grab their email with submit and then subscribe to our blog, and this is here for you. So the main idea is anyone that's coming from top of funnel to have something organic to do with them. Okay, so subscribe and everything that you can basically do to take their emails. What I could say that I'm also working with PPC teams. So if there is a cluster specifically about a specific topic, we will then target them, retarget them on Facebook or any social, or on LinkedIn if it's B2B. So we're going to target them based on that cluster. They will see very specified ads based on that cluster. So not a generic ad about, this brand, but something that is very, very, very specific to these cluster of blog pages that they were visited in. So basically behind the scenes, we're clustering each blog to specific blog posts, to specific clusters that can potentially be converting. So not every blog post gets this strategy, just the ones that are very, very much in potential to be converting. This is our framework. So first we find the topics. On SE Ranking, you have the opportunity to do the content ideation inside, which really help us to understand everything that we want. You have the trend, you have other words, you have complete clusters that you can just open it and see all the clusters inside. So you can just scroll and find the right cluster that you want to work on. And then you can just identify if it's difficult or not. So what is the potential for you to rank on it? If it's easy, why not? No brainer. If it's a little bit more difficult, look at the trend, look what's going on SERP results, look what's going on, in terms of what's ranking, what's the intent. If the intent is commercial or a lot of crazy competition like Amazon or Target or things like that, Walmart or things like that you can't bid like in the very first step. So try to prioritize something else. And then we select and try and do the brief. Sometimes there is some topics like easy one in the B2C industry that we're doing the brief with just one click. That's like super time-saving feature. So you can do the one-click brief and then, a little bit, work with it a little bit, optimize it a little bit, edit a little bit, and then make sure it's really right fit to what you want to say in this article. And that's a time saver. What's important that I know a lot of SEOs sometimes miss, they really rely on SEO tools, and this is not the case that we want to be in. Do not just look all the time on the SEO tool. You also want to look inside Google, what's going on the SERP side. So yes, SE Ranking has this feature with SERP overview, so you can actually see who's ranking and what they're writing about this topic specifically is what is localization, for example. But it's best for you to type it on Google and see exactly what pops up. If it's an AI overview, it's a featured snippet, it's an images carousel, what's going on inside the SERP exactly. You want to see it in your eyes and just, actually get up from this tool and just look at the things, what is happening right now, because this field is like changing all the time. We're constantly seeing every day things that Google are changing or testing. You need to be very updated with the specific topics. So for me, I will identify the type. What page is ranking? Is it a blog? Is it a guide? Is it a transactional page? This is very, very important to understand. Yes, what's ranking right now? What type of page do I need to set up? I need to set up the engagement, how competitors are monetizing their traffic. What are they doing to monetize their traffic? This is very important to set up all the strategy and also involve the marketing team to it. Prioritize it if it's according to difficulty, as we've mentioned in the slide before, and then create the brief in one click. You can do it sometimes. Once we're creating the brief or the article, so as I mentioned, you can totally do the brief with one click, or you can even generate the article with one click. Why not? But sometimes what I like to do is just to create a baseline, as I mentioned, and then to rework on this, make sure it's like unique, valuable. I hate to base everything on AI today. This is not something that I would like to see. And first of all, I wouldn't like to read an article that is like based on AI. I think that sometimes it really depends on your audience, but sometimes the audience are really now trained to identify AI with their own. I don't know, whenever I see embark, that's it. I know it's an AI article. So, there's a lot of keywords there that may trigger or a little bit the structure. Do it, write it, make sure your writer knows what they're talking about, make sure they know what they really want to say inside this article using the brief that you sent them. And then you're going to optimize your article, polish it, enrich it, and then clear tech issues. Okay, that's very, very important. We're going to talk about this. And when I'm talking about clearing tech issues, I'm talking about what's going to be happening on this page. Is once the page is live, if it's a new page, just scan everything, making sure it's Scream Frog, and also you can use SE Ranking for that. This is what I'm doing over here. But also this gives me like an actual opportunity to understand what's going on live on the website, because if there's a broken image, or if there's a broken link, or if there's, I don't know, like a heavy image over there that, you know, there's need to be optimized. So why not to automate things, make it easier for you? So take care first of the urgent things. What moves the needle? Do not do the things for the sake of SEO. Just take care of the urgent stuff first. Improve the crawl budget. Make sure that this page doesn't have any redirect loops or anything that is basically bothering it to be crawled, and improve it, the bot crawl rate. And you can totally do a complete tag optimization if it's a small website, just to make sure everything is okay and clear any urgent issues. And then index or auto index if it's, I would say, a large website. What we're doing here at Brains, we're working with another tool, which basically allows us to auto index every page that we're basically working on. That's it. It's like we're sending an API request to Google, and that's basically instantly being indexed. And also this tool allows us to re-index all the pages or de-index bulk pages if we need to. So you can see in this example, we have 270 pages that are now in progress to index. That's interesting. And then there's a new feature, by the way, with SE Ranking, that we can just report everything that's going on in terms of AI search competitors, understand if we have any features on AI overviews. And that's a very interesting feature. Always report and monitor the changes that you've done. By the way, you have in the content marketing option, you have the option to connect it to your project and then see the progress of it, the actual article. How is it ranking? How is it bringing just match it to your Google Search Console or your analytics, and you'll start seeing only this URL, how it's reacting to this refresh. So it's very interesting to see. And that's basically the analytics of us. Like, we basically connected everything, and we see the analytics of this article generating this and this and that traffic. So that's really interesting to see overall. And that's it. Yes, woo. I finished. So yeah, basically the idea to invest easy wins and to build internal funnels. The main idea is to bring impact through whatever you do. So it's not the sake of SEO, just create more articles and, you know, boost it with AI or do a brief with one click. The idea is to do impactful work. And the idea is to bring actual revenues through organic search. And that's what's important. I think that I want to say to you guys, you can totally do it today with automation. We're using SE Ranking, and I would say in one workflow that can really work with your rest of your team and also with your client, because it's basically shareable. This is what I love with this platform. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me, and we'll follow up now with the Q&A.
Thank you so much. I learned a couple things, because I know it's always nice to kind of see exactly how clients are using these. So your use cases are helpful for me, and I'm sure the others out there that we can see in the comments as well. So getting into it, let's pick one. There was a whole bunch of really good ones. So let's start with Natalie Ford. So she said, how do you evaluate the competitive landscape when crafting content?
Oh, well, that's interesting, because I just had an example last week. So when I'm seeing like what my competitors are basically doing, or clients' competitor, what they're doing. So I'm looking at the pace they're pasting they're creating content, the pace. Sometimes they're creating 8, 12 a month, and my client only have budget for 4. That's something that is very, very important for me to understand. Okay, they're really investing with content. And that's something that I showed my client last week. That's really important. And also, I'm going to look at the topics that are creating, monitor them as well. You can totally monitor things also on SE Ranking. Even sometimes I'll crawl them. Like I'll create a project for another competitor, just to see, not even using the competitor's tab, but even just to have them as a project, just to see what they're doing and rankings and how they're basically changing themselves. So that's really important. So last week, I discovered that one of my biggest competitors for my clients basically opened like a complete new product, just based on, imagine that's like a very heavy I would say B2B software that is like you wouldn't ever imagine that they created like I think 50 pages that are all related to AI inside their product. So that's really interesting just to have a look at it and see what your competitors are doing, and then to make sure that also in product side of things, your client knows about it. And then you can come up with, if their product can support AI, and for sure, we discovered just they're not marketing it. Why? So just create content based on that and be faster than, your competitors. So I'm basically monitoring them. This is what I would say. Spying on them
Keeping
constantly.
tabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then Ethan Wallace also had a kind of similar, or actually, Clara had a similar question. Clara Bennett, how do you make sure your content strategy remains agile with regard to the constant algorithm updates and shifting SEO trends?
Kind of say that I never changed my content workflow
Mhm.
because thank you, Clara.
Mhm.
Because a good SEO stays good SEO. It doesn't
Mhm.
have to be changing with the Google algorithm updates. See, I think the only thing that I was changing is the layout. Because in essence, when you're creating content and you're creating valuable content all the time, because you want readers to really read your content and engage with it. So there's no way the algorithm update that can hit you. The only
Mhm.
thing that thinks it can be changed is layout, is the author, is the published date, is related articles, or even I don't know, like things like table of contents or things like that. So, but yeah, that's basically what I'm changing. But the actual content workflows or content strategy haven't changed. Like I think in the last 5 or 6 years, we just want to create like really good content. That's main goal.
Super helpful. Awesome. Yeah, helpful content. Like we know that from Google. It's
Yes,
just repeated over and over
simple. It's
again.
just simple.
Yeah, exactly. And so, Ethan Wallace, this may be a very similar answer, but how do you measure the effectiveness of content creation beyond traditional metrics like traffic and rankings?
So I got to say that we're not measuring traffic and rankings at all. I'm measuring maybe some traffic, yes, as a just an indication of how things are going. But we're creating a Looker Studio template. We're basically getting all the content, and then if it's leading to a conversion or not, this is how we're measuring the effectiveness of things, or other engagement rates if it's not, leading to a B2B, I would say. So if a person buys from this page, or stay, or I don't know, clicks, or 50% scroll, or staying, I don't know, more than 60 seconds, we have other metrics that we want to see the engagement. But as I told you, sometimes it's very difficult to convert people from a top funnel. So we need to think a little bit outside of the box for each client and each niche, just to understand what's the next step. For each, I would say, the clusters or industry, but yeah, we're doing it with, I would say, more bottom of funnel intent.
Yeah,
Rankings are a way to get there.
awesome. Well, that's I know there's definitely like different ways to see it, and also like hopefully there's a community around whatever content you're putting out, so you can
Yes.
see how well it's digested and perceived. So Simon Bland had a quick question. So how important is domain age when starting a new SEO campaign, and what domain age would you say is a minimal to start seeing positive results?
I have an interesting case study, which there was a blogger in the UK that came to me, and she's working on a relocation kind of a blog or something like that. Just recently bought it like last year. I don't know, like all the recent algorithm updates, it's just basically skipping that blog. It's like really a good content based on real experience. There is an author behind the scenes. We know the person, we can identify it. There is an entity behind it. I wouldn't say today there is I see like a domain age with brand kind of a connection, but not with content brand ranking. So she's like this blogger's like has she reached already 20K traffic a month. She has I don't know, like 8 months for this kind of domain, really beating any kind of real estate agency or things like that here in the UK for a lot of the traffic. And I think it doesn't mean anything, just for brand keywords for sure. And that meant, and I'm not sure even domain age is one of the factors, just like mentions and digital PR. But yeah, I think things have changed like in the last 2 years or so. Definitely. It was a factor back then. Yeah,
Yeah, I've seen it like where people just quickly rise just with a few blog
exactly.
posts. Their keyword counts are from 30 to 300 in the
And it's
next like
consistent. It's
month after.
consistent as
Yeah,
well. Yeah.
huge differences. A good question from Oliver Graham. What strategies do you employ to enhance interlinking and content silos for improved SEO performance?
Um, Interlinking, if it's a WordPress site, we can automate it in a smart way, not spammy way. And we can use any kind of a WordPress plugin that can automate things in a smart way and also not exact, I would say, anchor text. And then what is the question again? I want to see. There was another part and content silos.
For improved.
And content silos. Okay, yes. So basically, that's the thing. Sometimes we have a client that we basically created like a directory of a content cluster or a content silo or a content hub, the way you want to call it. And then, we created a smart internal linking structure and made everything connected. So every content silo is also connecting between each other and connecting to the homepage, connecting to the product, connecting to the solution, connecting to anything. So basically, more holistic approach, I would say. Like every content silo should interlink with everything that you kind of do in this ecosystem. And that's something smart, but also very challenging if you want to do it at scale. And it's a very large website, but it's doable and it's working.
Mhm. Awesome. So we have one last question from Leonard Briggs. Do you recommend any techniques for optimizing content for voice search and featured snippets?
Actually, I have zero experience with verse search. I think that there are other people that can maybe address it. I have zero experience with it. For featured snippet, yes. Well, of course, all of us. Sometimes dry and plain and definition, and sometimes schema markups. For example, there's a lot of blog posts that are not utilizing it, like how to blah, 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 blah. Do the how to schema markup. That's totally doable, and why not? So that's something that is like always working for me, like to enrich the content with a lot of schema or specific schema that can help boosting the content. And if it's a what is dry plain definition, just be that very, very precise and start the content with it. But there's also a matter of images and videos that are not working with a use and featured snippet. I hope that you heard me because I
Yes.
vanished for a
Yeah.
sec.
I heard you.
So that's also very, very important just to get that in place when you're working on content. Make sure you have everything tagged in all tags with everything that you can just to enrich a little bit more the page. By the way, I've seen like one of my clients today was ranking with a specific dog breed that has, I don't know, like 15K searches with the image and with AI overview, of course, with an image and then the title, and then this alone brought us like 50% increase of traffic. And I would imagine that AI overview will basically going to get us down, but it's like the vice versa. So use that visuals, tag it, alt tags everywhere, give that information. Remember that Google or in general, search engines are still bots. Right? They need to get the information with codes inside. So just make sure you tag everything and make sure everything is visible.
That's super helpful, and just enriching things, it seems like is a common trend with it. Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Laura. I appreciate all of your wisdom and sharing all your insights on content and optimization, all the things that we can do. Great.
Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.